Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for Eye on the Slack. This week we are talking to Gaige Owens from the Eureka College men's wrestling team. How are you doing tonight?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Gage, the wrestling season just started, but you already picked up 6 wins this year. Can you talk to everybody just a little bit how your season's going so far? A couple meets, couple duels there for the Red Devils so far. How's your season going?
I feel like I'm wrestling real well this year. I'm just, trying to work my hardest. I'm getting better at my angles and my shots this year. I'm really not too focused on the wins. I didn't even know I had 6 wins until they put it out there on the SLIAC. So yeah, I'm just really focused on working hard with my team.
Yeah, you're working hard for sure. You wrestle at the 133-pound weight class, and you're actually the reigning SLIAC champion at that weight class, earning first team all conference honors last year. What was that like last year? Take us through the championship day, and then being crowned the 133 champion last year.
Well, I originally had wrestled 141 for the season, but we had some things happen with our team, and we had to shift some things around. So I needed to cut weight because we had a hole there, and our 133 had dropped to 125. So we just tried to do what was best for the team, and so I really wanted to win that championship so we could have a shot at winning it. But instead, we had took second instead. So it wasn't all for nothing, but I really enjoyed the process, and I liked getting that championship. It felt good.
Right, as you mentioned, dropping down the weight there, originally the 141. Can you talk to everybody just how difficult is it to move between weights? Obviously there's multiple weight classes in wrestling, but maintaining that strength, maintaining that stamina when you're trying to cut weight or when you're trying to put on weight, how do you handle that mentally and then physically as far as the weight changes go?
It's definitely not easy, I'd say, but it's more mental than anything. As long as I'd stay on a good diet throughout the 2 weeks that I had to cut the weight, and just make sure I was eating right and not overeating and over drinking is the main problem. But just making sure I was staying smart and listening to Coach Beal and everything, and he made it a lot easier.
Nice. So you're a transfer from Iowa Wesleyan, one of the former members here in the conference from a few years back, but you transferred into Eureka College. What attracted you to the Eureka Wrestling program when you were looking to find a new home?
Well, originally I was going to go to the Lincoln College, and then obviously they got shut down, and Eureka took in their wrestlers. So coming here was very new for me because I didn't even have a visitation or anything. I just wanted to stick with the wrestling team and stick with Coach Beal, and so I knew what they had to offer here. And ever since then, we've grown as a program, and just the vibes here are just real nice and everything. So I like it.
How did you first get into wrestling? How long have you been wrestling?
Since I was 8 years old. I originally was doing martial arts at a dojo, and then one of the dads there said he wanted to run a wrestling club for the town of Marion that I'm from. And ever since then, I've just been wrestling with that team, and then the Siwa team down south. Shout out to them, and then ever since then.
Wow, that's a long time. Nice. As you mentioned from Marion, so you have a bit of a break here before your next meet on December 7th when you go to the MSOE Open. What are you going to do during that time? I'm guessing going home for Thanksgiving. But how else are you going to spend your free time before you get to that MSOE Open here in a couple weeks?
Well, right now we're sticking with still practicing and stuff. I won't be going home until probably the day before Thanksgiving, and I'll probably be back up here the day after, just back at practice and everything. But mainly just focused on hanging out with my wrestling team. We got a Friendsgiving that we're gonna do, and so probably just hang out with them and enjoy the time I have with them.
You've mentioned practice a couple of times. I know you just had practice earlier tonight. Take us through a typical practice. What is that like for you? Are you matched up with similar weight classes? Do you try and push yourself, go a little higher? What is a practice like for you?
Yeah, we usually warm up, typical easy wrestling warm up, and then we usually hit it hard the first 20 minutes to get really warm. So we get our stance in motion, and then hard snaps, and then working on bottom, working on our breakdowns and turns, and then we'll get into our technique, get 30, 40 minutes of good technique in, slow things down, and then we'll usually hit it hard at the end just to make sure we get our sweat in, get live or some sprints or something around that.
And then finally, take us through what's your mindset during a tournament? Tournaments or opens, they can be very long days, waiting around for your weight class or multiple matches for you throughout the day, depending on how you do. What is your mindset? How do you keep your focus through a tournament day?
Well, since it's my senior year and I've just done it for so long now, I just feel like I'm not as nervous anymore. I just want to go out there and have fun. I expect the long days, you know. I'm not thinking like, oh, I can't wait for this day to get over. I know what kind of sport I'm in, so you know, just embracing the grind. And I think that's what wrestling is all about. It's just embracing what's hard.
Nice. Embrace the grind. Good mindset and motto there. So, well, that's enough talking about wrestling. Let's get to know you a little bit more with some fun questions for you, the SLIAC 6. So these are just quick questions for you. Just have fun with them, but anything you are currently streaming right now.
Streaming. No, I don't think so. I just watched the Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul fight on Netflix. So
What were your thoughts on that fight, if you want to
I was,
call it a fight?
I was a little hurt and disappointed about the Mike Tyson's performance, but he's almost 60, so I can't be too upset.
Right. So you obviously how do you know about Mike Tyson? Because obviously when he was in his prime, it was well before were kind of aware. So how did you know about Mike Tyson?
Like I said, I've been doing martial arts. I started martial arts before I started wrestling, and then I won a Golden Gloves tournament when I was 19. So I've always been interested in combat sports and mixed martial arts. I'm a big fan of the UFC and just so Mike Tyson, and you know, being a fan of boxing, you can't be a fan of boxing without knowing about Mike Tyson.
Right, quite the historical figure, that's for sure. Thanksgiving next week. What is your favorite Thanksgiving food?
Oh, that's a hard one. I don't know. My grandma's greens, I can't say anything bad about those. Are probably my
What has been your favorite thing since you've been at Eureka College?
my wrestling team for sure. The people on my wrestling team, the ones I hang out with and everything, good dudes for sure. Just past wrestling as well. I've gotten close with their families and I've established bonds with them. So I think they're lifelong friends instead of just teammates.
So we have baseball, softball players, even pro wrestlers. They have walkout songs. What would your walkout song be?
There's actually a Gladiator song called "O Fortuna" that I really like, and I use it for all my walkout songs for anything. So
Yeah, that's a great medieval song. Great build up there. Yeah, that'd be a pretty cool one to walk out to. If you weren't a wrestler, what other sport would you be playing?
I weren't a wrestler. I'd probably be, you know, boxing or something, or be a mixed martial artist. If outside the combat sports, but I'd probably go. I try to be good at basketball. I know they make a lot of money, so.
And then finally, what is your major and your dream job?
My major is communications. I'm a communications major in journalism. My dream job, it'd be an MMA fighter, to be honest. That would be my dream job.
All right, Gage. Well, it was a pleasure talking to you, and we look forward to seeing you back out on the mat here in a couple weeks and then at the championship in early 2025.
No, thank you so much. You have a good one.